Nearby my people now welcome to this channel where we give now get updates on waiting the apple for Biafran territory. As Prime Minister they always talk something, say this no be 1967. You know if you defeat the present Biafran Liberation Army with the barrels of the gun.
Them we will defeat them, and it is going to everything will end this year.
Nigeria cannot defeat Biafra with the barrel of gun for the second time. Simon Ekpa made a viral video now. Are you of the view that Nigeria cannot defeat Biafra with a barrel of gun for a second time? And now, do you also agree to the fact that Biafra is better than Nigeria, sir?
That is let me just put it that way, a narrative deception when anybody can come out and tell you that on the barrel of guns that the Biafra will be defeated. Even in the last war, Nigeria Civil War, there was no defeat, there was no surrender. What happened then was a constitutional ceasefire. Go and ask any intelligent person. But the Nigerian propaganda will always come up with their type of propaganda, projecting falsehood. Biafra never surrendered to anybody, never even did not surrender to Nigeria, irrespective of the armament and the weaponry that was supported or sponsored by world leaders as at that time against Biafra at that time. It took the whole world, who were involved in the war against Nigeria more than 3 years to be able to reach to a level of having a constitutional ceasefire. So anybody is coming out to tell you today that Biafra can be defeated with a barrel of gun, need to be reminded, when Biafrans at that level, who are not much exposed or thoroughly exposed to so many things now, nobody defeated them, talk less of now. Well, the fact still remains that, irrespective that we lost over 7 million able-bodied Biafrans, who by now would have contributed so much to Africa. But they always say, in the next 10, 15, 20 years today, Biafrans all over the world Biafrans, especially the Igbos, are going to dominate Africa. The record is there. You can Google it and find out the reason why that prophecy or that projection is growing overwhelmingly. It's something that has to do with divinity. It's not something that just comes from man or from government or even personal Republican spirit of Igbos. No. It is something that is connected to their DNA. How it happens, it becomes a mystery to anybody. During the COVID-19, we see the charismatic presence of every Igbo all over the world, and how government of every nation across the world always liaise with Igbo community in China, in Japan, in Korea, in South Korea, in America, in India, in Britain, named all over the world. If there is any uncertainty of how to drive a particular commercialization, the Igbos are always there to provide the atmosphere for that. That is one. So the issue now, as it stands now, the Biafran quest has spread. There's too much awareness. Biafra has innovated to an extent that it will be very difficult for anybody to threaten them presently now, not even Nigeria. So what Ohaneze and of course Simon Ekpa is trying to let the world know that at this point in time, Biafra can actually stand alone by developing themselves, by developing Biafra as a nation, by developing themselves individually, and by establishing at least the fourth nation in the world, that will be seen to have that humanity and charity as the basis, the fundamentals of government. What does it mean? That virtually everything, including education, will be free in Biafra. Yes, I'm telling you, because we know who we are and we know what we stand to gain in the nearest future when the advancement of Fulani conquest. Of course, jihadists begin to advance, especially in West Africa. We are going to see, we are going to represent, humanity at that point in time. If it happens, we are going to represent, good governance. We are going to be against anything that has to do with form of, intimidation by people who are non-Biafran or who find solace to be in that kingdom when it comes. So we are in a right order. We are ready to go. We are waiting that a point will come. If Nigeria is not able to advance referendum, for Biafra, of course, the world, the United Nations, and of course America and the rest allies, they know what to do, because we stand for truth, we stand for greatness, we stand for humanity, we stand for charity, we stand for development, we stand for anything that will have to do with advancement of humanity. 100%. We don't kill. We are not kill. We are not extremists. We don't take. We see humans as sacred. We see every human being as very, very important. That tells you the kind of people Biafrans are likely to be, or is seen to be, and that is exactly what they are. Presently, if you look at in Nigerian context, as we come down, trying to define things properly the way they are, after the war, we knew, and everybody knows, that Nigerians, how to an extent that succeeded in a deep economic blockade against the Biafran. There was nothing to celebrate. The entire Biafran land was found to be devastated and in ruins. But as God will have it, go and check the rising of the sun, you will discover that the Igbos have risen to an extent that they are being recognized all over the world, especially in Nigeria. Wherever you find an Igbo man, you find development. Wherever you find an Igbo man, you find charity. Wherever you see an Igbo man, you find commercialization. Wherever you see an Igbo man, you find an atmosphere of grace. You find an atmosphere of improvement. You find an atmosphere of human living. That is the nature. And anybody that is telling you that Biafrans is going to or is better than Nigeria, that person is not far from the truth. Because if you look at the ingenuity of an Igbo man, from picking the lion after the war, to becoming the richest tribe in the world currently as I'm speaking.
But sir, away from that now, what is your opinion concerning what the Igbo elder said, telling President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that Biafra can never be defeated via a bowing of gun again, and that see agitation struggle is also recognized by the United Nations, sir.
The Geneva Convention empowers the self-determination of any race, of any tribe. It is there in the United Nations Charter. The reason for agitation is not far-fetched. You can see it in everywhere. You can see the decided threat against an Igbo man that he will not be president in Nigeria. You can see the decided threat to make the entire Biafran look like a devastated political zone. You can see the decided threat by the government and by the jihadists or the caliphate, to keep the entire Biafran land without access to federal government development and infrastructure. You can see all the economic blockade, psychological economic war going on in the southeast. As I speak to you now, they have mapped out areas where they are going to route their rail, and nothing is being done in the heart of Biafra till today. That tells you that the move is a continuous, is a move, and at this point in time, that is the reason why Biafra has rediscovered themselves, and they are ready to stand shoulder to shoulder any moment from now. Once there is a green light coming from the United Nations and the world powers that Biafran sovereignty is still sacrosanct.
Now, you've listened to our guy said Biafran sovereignty is still sacrosanct. He said nobody can dim the light of the Biafrans in Nigeria, and Biafra has come to